Welcome to the Running with James podcast. We are committed to helping runners, OCR athletes, and the everyday person get involved, get connected, and get committed to becoming the best versions of themselves. Remember, when you change your mind, you change your life. Now here's your host, James Wyatt.
And welcome back to another edition of Running with James. I am your host, James Wyatt, and I'm joined with, that doesn't make any sense, does it? I'm here with. Yeah, I'm out of sorts today. Today we are joined by
Coach Carlos.
And
what up, people? It's Lauren.
This is going to be a good time. This is going to be a good day. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Maybe everybody's just tired. Is that what it is? I feel like everybody's been a little funk the last week. What do you feel? No? Yes?
Yeah, a little bit. Trying to get, it's kind of, you have a big weekend.
Yeah.
We all went to Atlanta, and this is kind of getting back to the grind. And, a lot of us, raced multiple races.
Yeah.
Lauren, you were partially sick doing it, so it's just all kind of, recovering from it. So
yeah. Well, I just like the dog. She's been barking all week. She's been out of control. She's not listening. She bit me yesterday, not like out of anger, but she put her hand on her mouth on my hand.
Oh,
so I consider that biting. Yeah. So I almost put her down.
Yep.
We almost had an Old Yeller moment. My daughter, she's been out of control. She's like, "Daddy, can we go to New York? Daddy, can we go to New?" I was like, "Hey, that's up to your mama." You know what I'm saying?
Why don't you specify how she kind of brought it up?
Who?
Your daughter, how she was like, wouldn't it be a great time to spend father-daughter time?
Yeah, daddy-daughter time. It would be a great daddy-daughter time.
That was slick.
Yeah, it was pretty sneaky, I thought. Yeah, for sure.
Tugging on those heartstrings.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know if it's a full moon. Kids been acting crazy, like in school, and it's the end of the school year.
Yeah.
You know how that is. They're just ready to be out. Teachers are ready to be out. So my wife, she's on edge.
Short fuses
everywhere, right? And then we got this hangover from Atlanta, from hot Atlanta out there, swanging and banging.
Oh. I'm
surprised I didn't see a pimp. I was looking for a pimp, and I never saw one.
Is Atlanta known for having a lot of pimps?
I feel like it is. I feel like there's a lot of pimp movies from Atlanta.
I'm pretty sure the capital.
I feel like Atlanta's the pimp capital of the world.
The southern capital, at least, I would say.
Yes, easily. Because the pimp game is very big in Atlanta. Have you never seen, what was the name of that movie? Hustle and Flow?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Where the guy was a pimp and he wanted to become a rapper?
Yeah. Smack your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there was another song like Smack That.
Oh, yes. Whoop that trip.
Yeah, whoop that trick. Whoop that trick, I think. That's what it was. Such a classical song. Very classical. So, yeah, I think everybody's a little hungover. So it's been a long season, too.
Oh, it feels long. Like. Lots of training blocks.
A lot of training blocks. Some of them longer than others. A lot of hard training blocks. So,
Great time to reflect.
It is. Reflection is key.
Yes.
Reflection is key. So you don't want to reflect too soon after an event, because if you do, the emotions of the event, like I think, what's that chick's name that just ran the marathon, the Boston Marathon?
Jessica?
Yeah, Jessica. Like right after the marathon, she messaged me and she's like, "I'm never doing this event again." And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, dude.
She messaged me a photo of a very black looking toe. Looks like she broke her toe.
I haven't seen a picture of her toe.
Oh, so she sent me a photo and she goes, "This happened I don't know if it was right after the marathon or when, but she was like, I kicked a chair in my hotel room."
Yeah, it'll happen. Watch what happens when you walk around in the dark.
Yeah.
Strange places.
Yep.
So.
Words to live by.
Words to live by. Don't walk around the dark in strange places. No. Right. So how did you enjoy Atlanta?
I thoroughly loved it.
Yeah.
That was great. The great, race, great hanging out with the people, had quite a few BC athletes there.
Yeah. I was actually surprised how many people ended up going.
Yeah. Initially it was just going to be a little guys trip.
It was.
It was going to be,
just four dudes hanging out in ATL.
4 dudes hanging out.
And it became so much more. It was good.
Yeah. So just, day one, did the solo race.
Yep.
Didn't go very good.
No?
I was a minute slower.
Yeah.
My run time was one of my fastest runs, or I think it beat my Dallas run time, but I don't know what happened, but those sleds kind of killed my legs.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you tried to go too fast on the sleds or what?
I feel, on the sled push, I kind of broke it in half, stayed pretty consistent, half, took 3 breaths, finished the other half, kind of stayed in a good rhythm. And then I don't know, at the pull, legs just felt like I had never worked out before.
You had the baby giraffe?
Yes, the baby giraffe.
Baby giraffe legs.
The baby giraffe. And then got to the burpees, and it was just over with.
Yeah.
It was form went out I started looking at videos. I was almost doing almost like a stutter step.
Really?
I was like, what the heck is that?
He's over here cheating. Look at him.
I'm sorry, Lauren. You were the judge over there. You should have caught me.
You were on the other side, and I did see you, and I did see a stutter step, and I was like, you are so lucky I'm not over there, because I'd be on you like white on rice. I expected one of my volunteers to get you, but some of my volunteers I
don't know.
I had to get them a couple times.
It was just legs were dead, and then just kind of, the running wasn't horrible, and like I said, it was a minute slower, but I had fun. It was just kind of a different race. The last 2 races I did, I think the mixed doubles and a solo, I felt like I was really attacking the course. Felt really good, and this one here was just like survival. Remember, just had a race where you're just trying to survive. That was just a survival race, so it was just like. More like, what's going on? It's like, wait a second.
Just getting slapped in the face.
I got slapped in the face, and I thought the training went good, and it was just, it was fun though.
Yeah.
It was, nothing, get your butt kicked a little bit, but the good thing was, turn around the next day. So I had another race. So that was, a good thing.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to talk about your race on Saturday?
I was cool. I was good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So my partner and I, Larry, we raced. So we hit our goal. We had, you always have ABC goal, right? So the A goal was to be sub an hour. C goal was to PR. B goal was to be somewhere in between that, right? And then we wanted to try to, get first or qualify for the championships. So, but we won our heat, but our heat wasn't the fastest heat apparently, because the heat before us, first, second, and third were all in there. So we ended up 4th overall.
I think they're all like 58.
Yeah, literally. They're like 58, 20, 58, 30, 58, something like that. So they were all right next to each other. So it was a really tight race. So that would have been cool to race with them. But yeah, so it was good. It was tough though. Larry's fast, man. So we ran pretty fast. So we were like on the money with our repeats. Like as far as our 1Ks, like literally like so succinct, like 4 minutes, 403, 359. Like we were like right on the 1K. Nice. So we were nailing that. So we were a little behind on the sled pull. So I think that's probably my fault. They were tough, man. They felt really tough. Like they were.
You guys were the pro weights as well.
Right. So we were on the pro weights. So, but we've been training for that, right? We've been doing way more weight than that. So I was actually surprised that was as hard or felt as hard as it did. And then on the wall balls, which is hilarious because like the wall balls should have been like, and that was my fault too. That was definitely my fault. I could have done more, but like we had a plan kind of going into it, and like I stuck to the plan and I shouldn't have, because I felt fine. And then like toward the end, like there were like 15 left and I stopped to let him finish it. And I should have I don't know why I didn't just finish it. Yeah. I was like, you finish it. So I don't know what the heck I was smoking. So it's just, I don't know. It was weird. So, but we hit our goal 101. So that was good. It was like a minute and a half PR or something like that. And so we ended up 4th. So, but I was very happy with the race. When we finished, I was very, very satisfied with the performance. And know that we could have been faster, right? Especially if we tighten up our performance together, because we've only raced like once together before.
No, it was fun watching you guys race.
Yeah.
One thing I think I mentioned to you, it was you could just see the intensity and joy on Larry's face.
Oh yeah, Larry was like, "Let's go."
He was just like,
yeah. He said one time, I think it was right after the farmer carries. He's like, "Are you ready?" He's like, "You want to pick it up some?" And I was like, "Well, give me one more lap."
That's kind of the moment where I was watching. I saw him. He was, booking it with those on the farmer's carry, but he had this look of just kind of intensity and just pure excitement and just loving.
Yeah, he was having fun
on the farmer carries. That's where I just kind of smiled. I was like, oh, it just kind of, makes you get excited more about the race, just seeing just how much fun he was having. You could just
all I was thinking about was we still have to do lunges and we still have to do wall balls. So I was like, well, let's just stick to the pace for now. And then when we finished the first lap of that one, and I was like, all right, you start the lunges and finish the lunges, then we can definitely pick it up. So that's kind of how we did it. So, and then I told him I would start the wall balls because he was supposed to start the wall balls. So I was like, I'll pick it up and I'll start the wall balls. So we did. We picked it up. We definitely were moving pretty good. I think that was one of our faster laps, other than like that first half lap or whatever, right? Yeah. So I think we had 2 laps that were under 4 minutes. So that was pretty good.
Wow, nice.
So, but yeah, so it was a lot of fun. And then Sunday I raced again too with my wife. So that was really good. So that's been like a long time coming. So I really enjoyed it. I think she had fun. I think she enjoyed it more being over than she did before we started. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. And like while we were going, I would ask her 2 questions. I was like, what's the pace? What's your heart rate? That was like back and forth, right? Okay. Just kind of helping monitor her efforts. And so there was one point, I think it was right after the burpees, I didn't ask her anything. We just started to run. She's like, my heart rate's at 187. My heart rate's at 187. I was like, okay, well, we'll lighten it up. And by the time we get around, it should be back down. And so we got about 3/4 of the way around. And I was like, what's your heart rate? It's still 180. It's still 180. And I was like, okay, well, we'll give it a minute. And like literally, I don't know, less than 100 meters later, I was like, what's your heart rate? He's like 150. I was like, all right, let's go. Let's pick it back up again. Right. So,
we were in the same heat.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. We were. We got smoked by y'all. Man, y'all were moving.
Well,
I went back and looked at the stats though. Did you look at the stats compared to ours?
No, I did not look. I saw our stats, but I did not.
Yeah. So I would just say this.
Okay, let me hear it.
If you want to be good at HYROX, you need to be a good runner.
Yes.
You need to be fast on the run. If you are running a 7:30 pace compared to someone who's running a 9:30 pace, you're going to be way faster than them. I don't care how good you are at the station. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I ran with my client friend Flo.
Yep.
And we had not trained, and the idea was just to see how hard to push her. So if any of you guys know Flo, she's very chatty.
She likes to talk.
She maybe said just 4 things during the whole race.
Really?
Yes, it was.
I saw the picture of her, like, she was like, I'm fighting for my life, and like shoving a goo like halfway down my throat. I was like, well.
We got to, and I started looking back at the videos. You get done with the race, and you're like, where could I push more?
Right.
Kind of deal. After looking at the videos, I think if I pushed any more, she would have been on a stretcher.
Yeah.
She was at one point, we're at the sled pull. And I think she realized this wasn't going to be just a fun little race. We're taking pictures.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah. Someone asked her, like, Flo, how you doing? And she turns over and is like, I'm tired.
I'm tired, boss.
And God bless Larry's wife, Tiffany. She was like the voice of calming. She's like, just take your rest now. And she's like, okay. And she just started breathing. And I was doing the sled pull. So,
that's awesome.
And then
she was nervous.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think, like maybe on the rower, where we're doing the rower, I was like, she was doing good. Mm-hmm. I was like, 50 meters more, you got it. And I think she was going to do 300 or 350, and she had a good stroke. I was like, she's like, no, and got off. So
that's awesome. That's so good. Yeah.
She completely refused to do 50 more meters.
That's so good.
And then, finished strong. It was, did 110. So that was kind of like
that's a great first time for y'all.
Yeah, for the, not really running, and then, together or practicing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's really new to running.
No, absolutely.
Right? So that's really good that you pushed her like that, and she was able. I figured she's going to be good, man. I think she's going to be really good. So she keeps getting a little more aerobic capacity underneath her. She's going to be good.
No, just for her to hold those paces, because it was just kind of going off feel, and then every time I was if she started kind of getting a little bit too far from me, I was like, okay, I'm going to slow down just a little bit. Mm-hmm. It was never, she held the pace every time.
Nice,
so
nice.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's good. What about you, Lauren?
It was a survival race. It honestly, I almost didn't race. I honestly was feeling excited about the race up until the week of, when I came down with whatever delightful bacteria my niece decided to give me, and was coughing all week, feeling just real cruddy, tired, and had just not good. So I was on a whole bunch of different things, cough medicine, a steroid, and a bunch of stuff, thinking that like surely this will be fine come Sunday. And then on Sunday, I felt like I was coughing almost worse than the day before, and that could have been because of me head judging and like having to yell at people.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely like to put me at not the farmer carry. They like to put me at the burpees. I think they realize I'm very good at managing that station, but it requires you to do a lot of chatting and yelling at people. So I think that might have strained me, but I was coughing so bad. And just doing my warm up, I was like coughing so hard, I was dry heaving in a corner. I very much like had a talk with myself about like, I don't have to do this race. I could sit it out, not kill myself, not feel bad. Like, I don't want to like pass out or do something stupid on the middle of the course. So I almost didn't go. And then I was like, you're here. You already spent the money to get here. If you have to walk it, you walk it. Smile for the camera. Make it cute. And just do what you can do. And that's exactly what I did until the dreaded accident happened. And then it was from there. It was just like, yeah, okay, we're just making this happen. This is just what it is. So it was definitely far from a PR. It was 14 minutes slower than my fastest time. So not a time to like, for me personally to be super excited about, but I got some cute photos out of it.
There you go. I mean, I did remember seeing you. I was like, I'm going to get you a slow-mo video of you crossing
Oh my gosh, that finish line video you sent in the group chat, I crack up over it.
So I was like, I got a great one of you and Larry crossing slow-mo.
Yeah.
You know, just looking like stallions crossing. I was like, I'm going to get the same for Lauren.
No.
It was almost like dead man walking. She crosses the finish line. Quickly comes to life. There's a camera, a couple peace symbols, and then literally just drops.
And literally just hit the. But what's best though is the side vote video, because like the roll and you just see that hole.
This chick, man, in that dang hole. I feel like you're so excited about that dang hole.
No, it was just funny.
It's like the best thing that ever could have happened
funny.
to you.
It was an embarrassing thing. A lot of people saw it, and it is what it is. And
for the last week, the only thing I've seen you post about is that dang hole.
I've only posted 2 things.
Okay.
And T-shirts will be available here.
T-shirts will be.
Yeah, it will be, and it'll just be her bent over
the hole
with the hole.
The hole.
Right.
Atlanta, 2025.
Hot Atlanta.
Atlanta 2025.
Atlanta.
That's it. ATL, right? Oh my gosh. Well, I think that like I was talking to Larry a little bit because we met about like our training cycles and stuff, and he was like, "I'm sore, man. I'm tired. I'm sore."
Oh, he did double duty too.
And he did double duty too. I think it was the race of double duty, 1 minute PRs and holes. Yes. What have you for the weekend. So like it was definitely one of those ones that I think, I mean, and after the season's been so long, like I think it was just like, I don't know. I wasn't super sore. Like I wasn't super like beat up, but I've been tired. Like I feel like I've been really like, I don't want to like mentally, I don't want to do anything. Like I just want to eat cookies, sleep in and not work out.
Yes.
That's where I feel right now.
I've done a couple runs, and I mean, I'm going to just throw it all out there. Not my proudest moment last night. I had 2 bagel dogs. Just
What's a bagel dog?
What's a bagel dog?
This place, Jersey Bagels. It's like kind of like a sausage, but like a bagel kind of, almost like a kolache, but it's a bagel as the bread.
Okay.
Delicious.
Sounds very heavy.
It was.
He did say, yeah.
It was one of those bad late night decisions. I was like, I threw that in the air fryer.
You know what? I think I got you beat.
Oh, let me see it.
Last night I went to Tumble 22 and I got OG, which is like fried chicken with like coleslaw on it. And yeah.
Is that it's not the mango coleslaw one, is it?
No, it's just a regular coleslaw.
Okay, no.
So
that place is good.
It is pretty good. And it's, and I'll one up it one more time. I didn't just get the regular chicken. I got the dark meat.
Ooh.
So it was like even more so. So I can't even imagine how much fat was in that thing. Like it's probably got 400 grams of fat in it. And there's freaking no doubt. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I'm sure that doesn't help either with the fatigue level.
Yeah.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's probably leading into it a little bit. So I think this is kind of the time now. I guess technically, I think you made a post about like the season's kind of over, right? Like it's last race of the season.
Last race of the season. Wrapped it up.
You kind of wrapped it up. So it's it started November, technically something like that. October, November.
Well, I mean, if
for some of us,
training, you start training, midsummer, almost, or you should at least,
right?
So that's,
you get like a month and a half off and then it's right back to starting again.
So we're looking at 9-10 months right there.
Yeah. So, that's a lot to have to go through. I mean, obviously it's fun. You enjoy it, things like that. But, it's definitely one of those things where it can, physically drain you, emotionally, mentally, all that good stuff. So, I do think
financially,
financially can definitely drain
those
you.
Those races are not cheap to get to, guys.
No, they're not, especially if you have to fly everywhere and, so, how awesome would it be to be in Europe? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you got to race, literally like in the next, town over. You cop the speed train.
You're there.
Or their Eurojet for,
you pay 15 euro,
yeah, that's it.
And you're heading to Paris. How awesome would that be?
Amazing.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
That'd be so nice. Instead of, you got to fly across the country and spend, $600-$700 and then Airbnb and freaking, what do you call it? Uber everywhere you go.
Or take the Atlanta tram.
Apparently
not. You did not recommend it.
Safety in numbers.
There is safety in numbers. So there's safety in numbers, right? So like I think like this is like the time. So like if you're a marathoner, if you're like a half marathoner, usually people are training for like one big race a year, right? So some crazy marathoners train for like 5 big ones a year, whatever. So, but usually there's one race that's like, that's my race, and you train and you train and you train, and then you get there and then it's over. And once it's over, you're like exhausted. You kind of have the post-race blues to an extent, and you're like, what's next? And, I always tell people you need to kind of do like a kind of a reset, like a hard reset. Like, so usually after a big race, no matter what's going on, I always tell people like the week after, just race. Run if you want to run. Don't run if you don't want to run. And then, then you kind of reverse taper up. And then you start settling into, whatever the next big thing is going to do. And so I think one big mistake people make a lot of times is they do one of two things after like a big event. Either they don't recover and they just go back to like business as usual, training hard, what have you, or they just go cold turkey and they don't do anything at all. And they just take the summer off, or they take a certain amount of time off. And so, when we're trying to come off of a race season, hopefully that's just the beginning, or it's just, another phase of your training, and you do have more things you're going to be wanting to do and you're going to want to go into. And so if that's the case, you need to make sure that you actually recover, right? Recovery is super important. I think maybe one of the reasons I wasn't so sore is, after the race, obviously I always encourage everybody, jump on the bike.
You
do a little bit of warm down, right? But then they had the ice bath there because it was the Sweat House sponsored one or whatever, right?
Yeah, it was nice.
And it was, it was cold.
Yeah.
It was cold. So, I think we jumped on the bike for a little bit, 10, 15 minutes, then went over, got in line and got in the ice tubs. And I felt like 10 times better than I probably felt after, other hard events before. And that was after 2 races.
I was going to say, 2 races.
Yeah.
We should have been, walking out there in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
But, that it really helped.
Right. No, for sure. So I think the recovery aspect can make a huge difference in how you feel kind of moving forward into whatever your new like training block's going to be. Right. So making sure that you have a good plan for that when you're going in. Right. So like for you, like what are you feeling like next? So you just, this week obviously is down. Right. So then what are you going to do after this week to kind of help get you back on the horse or get you going again?
Me personally,
what are you thinking about in your brain?
Kind of, obviously I'll sit down with you here in this next week or two. But like
So the first thing you're going to do is talk to your coach?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to you kind of about what the plans are. But really I almost going to say this next month, I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to start. I enjoy running, start building my running back up a little bit, but just be a little bit more unstructured just for a little bit.
Okay.
That mental, work out if I want to.
Yeah.
Do some lifting sessions. Everything's just been so HYROX dominant. Just kind of be a little bit more free with my training these next couple of weeks as I start kind of, deciding what the next goal plan is to be.
So your next phase basically is reflection.
Yes.
More than anything else.
Yes.
Right. And how long do you feel like you're going to take to kind of reflect and reset or, kind of be a little more free rather than being on a regimented schedule so much?
I would say at least for the next 2 weeks to 3 weeks. I mean, I'll probably get more on a running schedule, but as far as like lifting and kind of doing everything. It's going to be kind of more on how I feel.
Okay.
Doing some more workouts, like just kind of some basic strength workouts, get back into doing some squats and stuff, just some more basic lifts that I like to do.
So almost foundation.
Yeah, some foundation
like reestablishing
stuff.
some new foundation stuff.
Some foundation, some mobility.
Yeah.
A little bit more yoga, just kind of getting into that. Just kind of almost like base building.
Okay.
So that's kind of the plan.
Okay.
Getting the diet back in line. Like today, I ate pretty good. Tuna sandwich, protein shake, some egg whites. So it's just, getting back at it. What I enjoy it. So it's not like it's some
right. It's not like it's a drudge so much.
No,
right?
it's more just kind of like, that's the old comfortable pair of shoes. Just going right back into it.
Nice. Yeah. What about you, Lauren?
Probably going to be doing a lot of reflecting about like what my goals are for the next year and like how what I need to prioritize as far as like types of training modalities to hit those goals. Definitely running, like really building my running back up. But I think I'm going to start bringing some cycling back in because cycling is something I always used to really enjoy doing. I have a friend training for a pretty big bike race and I haven't been on my bike in like a year. So I told her I would do some training rides with her. Probably not going to get into the extent I used to do it when I was like doing a ton of big races, but definitely taking the bike out every once in a while just to kind of supplement in a different type of cardio, kind of give myself a different way of moving that's not the same old song and dance. Just because when I start to do burnout, I have to start looking at am I falling too much into a routine that's like not boring, but like too much of the same thing.
Gotcha.
So I have to break it up a little bit.
Gotcha.
And then I'm excited to maybe dip my toes back into OCR.
What does that mean?
Obstacle course racing?
Not that, dude.
Oh, I don't know.
You said, here's what you said. I'm excited to maybe dip my toe back into OCR.
Doing like signing up for maybe a couple OCR races again. HYROX has definitely still become like a priority race for me, but I would be, if the timing permits, I would definitely want to maybe do a few more OCR races this year than I've planned, than I had done previously because of my wrist. I think I can physically handle the challenge now.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reflection is a big part of it. I think you do need to have like a little space between like either your race or your race season, to kind of like help your mind get right. Because, the emotions of it, the fatigue, all that stuff can like kind of almost cloud your decision making to an extent. Plus, if it was maybe not as successful as you wanted it to be, then, you could just be salty about it, right? And that could, maybe not help you make the right types of decisions. You could be like, I'm never doing this again, or whatever. I hate training. So, I think, reflection is definitely one of the good things after you're separated from the event just a little bit. And then after that reflection, I think getting back on a routine is good, right? You got to get back onto a routine. And as part of that reflection, you kind of figure out, okay, what did I do well? What could I have worked on? And I honestly believe you got to start with what you did well. Like you got to stay positive in all the things you do. And I think it's pretty much like you said for your race. I can't remember exactly how you put it, but you didn't feel like your race was super successful.
Yeah.
Right. But even in that, you had to have done something good. Right. There was definitely positives in that race, and more than likely because you were only like 1 minute off of your PR.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I took a lot of positives away. I mean, I didn't. I knew it wasn't the time I hit. I literally sat there at the end, in those chairs.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I wasn't like, oh man, I'm the worst or anything. I literally just sat there, just kind of, more weirdly happy.
Yeah.
I was like, anytime you get through one of those races, it's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy the races. I enjoy, every time I race, and I try to really, soak it in, because the HYROX races don't happen every, week.
Right.
So it's just kind of, even though it was a survival race, I really enjoyed it. Even, dying at the burpees or whatever, it's just a fun experience.
Yeah.
It's a way to test yourself. And I really sat there just reflecting for those minutes, just cooling down of just like, I got my butt kicked, but that was fun,
Yeah.
So it is, and my running was, vastly improved. For me to have a bad race, quote unquote bad race, and still that was one of my fastest runs.
Yeah.
So that's, I would hold my head up high right there with that. So that was, it was fun. So
Nice.
it's not like just always just, like you said, that race was horrible. I'm done. Onto my pickleball career now. So.
Pickleball.
Starting that walking group.
And walking. That's
my
it.
walking group, yes.
Pickleball and walking.
Bachata walk with Bachata Mike.
So, but yeah, I think that, everything, you can start with that positive, what you did well, right? And then you can always go back and say, okay, what could I have done better, right? And you can look at your training to see like how you could adapt or adjust your training to improve, those particular things. So, and there's a lot of really cool tools out there now with HYROX, like with all the different calculators and, all the different apps that, you can go and kind of compare your times and your splits and everything and really see on, in what ways you could really truly improve in those particular activities. And then you can, add that in your training, right? So, I think my training has definitely changed quite a bit, in the last 3 years or so. And it's been really interesting to see how my fitness has changed. And even how my body's changed. But, I think more than anything, I still think I'm learning. I'm still learning. And so every time I get to do a race, I learn something from that race. And then I see, perfect example, right? So I think, at the beginning of the season, I did Toronto singles. Yep. And it was really just to see where my fitness was, and I got to a certain point and I realized I need to be in better shape. And, I kind of, the wall balls was bittersweet because I went in confident that I was going to do well at the wall balls. And then my 12-year-old judge decided that he wasn't going to allow that to happen. Yeah. And so, he obviously made me do way more than I was required to do. And when I got through with that race, I was thinking to myself, how can anybody possibly take 9 minutes to do 100 wall balls? Physically, I could do, if I was into the gym right now and I started doing wall balls, I'm pretty sure I could probably do about 300 wall balls in 9 minutes. Without a doubt. I feel like I could do that with a 14-pound ball.
I'll time you.
Yeah. No, we're good. I'm good right now. I'm just saying. In my heart of hearts.
Okay.
But it took me 9 minutes to do those wall balls. And so, obviously I got no repped a lot. Then that frustration sets in because you're already tired because it's the end of the race. You're trying to kind of state your case. Help me, please. Stop trying to kill me. But when I finished that race, all I could think about was the wall balls.
How many extra did you do, you think, again?
I ended up doing 57. Extra?
Whoa.
Yeah, I did 157 wall balls.
Well, that is, a testament to your staying calm because just, with the counters in Atlanta,
yes,
it would show you I had 7 no reps and it got in my head.
Yeah.
It literally
because you're just thinking, I should be 7 more ahead.
Exactly. So for you to do 50 and I might have kicked a bucket.
Yeah. I was on the edge, bro. I was on the edge. I'm not going to lie. I was definitely on the edge. So, but I took that and I was like, okay, either I wasn't going low enough, I wasn't hitting the target properly, whatever it was, maybe he just didn't understand what the right
movement
was supposed to be. And, I was just too close to the edge. And so after that race, I was like, I'm going to get better at wall balls no matter what. Even if I've never sucked at wall balls before, I sucked that up at the wall balls. Right. Yeah. So, coming out of this race, we went into, what's his name? Larry and I, and, as we were doing them, I know that's why I say we could have been faster because I think I didn't take enough of that on myself knowing I could have done more, you know, and it was less about let me just knock out as many as I can. It was more let's just switch over. And I don't know if in the back of my mind, I know he had done his race before he had done one and he had struggled on the wall balls. So I don't know if I was trying to build his confidence or something because he had a race the next day to help him feel good about it or if I was just being lazy. So it might have been a little bit of a combo of the two. Yeah. So the next day, when I was racing with my wife and stuff, we were going around and I had 2 main goals for this race that I didn't really share completely with everybody. But one was to PR, Larry and I to PR. That was the main number 1 goal. And then the other one was to go unbroken on the wall balls with my wife. Right. So I kept that one close to the vest. And so as we were running around, every lap we did, that was on my mind. I was like, do I feel like I can still go 100 unbroken on the wall balls? Do I feel like I can go unbroken on the wall balls? And so when we got to the lunges. I did a big chunk of the lunges, and when we got done and we were running, I was like, hey, let's pick it up now, because all I was thinking about is I want to break up this lactate in my legs. And I told her I'll start the wall balls, right? So we can push hard because you're going to get a good break when we go in. And she's like, okay. So we took off, and when we came into the wall balls, I don't know what number it was, like maybe 50, 51 or something like that. And she's like, are you trying to go unbroken? And I was like, no. I don't know why I said no. I don't know why I said no. I just shook my head no, and I just kept throwing the ball up. And then
it's too early to make that declaration.
Exactly. Not at 50.
No, not at 50.
Maybe 75, maybe 80, but not at 50, right? So I cruised through it, and I ended up getting over-repped a couple times because I missed the target.
Yeah.
Like I missed that little dot, right? So you're right. When you are throwing that thing up there and you miss it, and you see over to the left that it says no target or whatever, and you see 103, or you see you hear them shouting, and it was weird because behind me they were shouting a different number that was on the screen, and that was different than it was like three different numbers, because I'm thinking in my head I should really be at 90, but I'm at 90. I'm at 85.
Yeah.
They're shouting at me 79. So I'm just like, huh? I was like, don't talk anymore. Just tell me when I'm done, But I cruised through it, right? And I felt good pretty much the entire time and very capable. So, obviously, what I have done to improve for the wall balls has worked. Yes. So when you get through a season and you kind of look back and say, okay, what have I done well? Well, obviously, whatever it is I did was really, really good to help me prepare, because that's 2 races back to back that I've been able to go unbroken on the wall balls. So I've obviously improved.
HYROX America, get this man his patch.
Yeah.
They ran out of patches.
Yeah, no patch for me again. So it's okay. They ran out of patches. So,
but you do have a second flag.
I did take another flag. Actually, I took the flag this time, not because I'm hanging it up, but because the next HYROX I go to, I'm taking that flag to somebody. I'm like, I need a patch.
Yeah.
And see what they say. They could be like, did you get that this race? I'm like, no habla inglés.
So you're holding it hostage.
Yes, until I get this dang patch. So I think looking back and kind of reflecting on how you can improve, and then that's what you do. That's the next thing you do is you go in and you start putting pen to paper, or you talk to your coach or what have you, and you figure out, okay, what's next? Like, how do I progress to the next level? How do I improve? Whether it's through my running, am I going to get better at running? Is it, my aerobic capacity? Is my strength, my transitions, whatever it may be, and then go back to the lab basically and start really mixing it up and figuring out, how am I going to take this new foundation of fitness I have and build to my next peak, right? So I think that's going to be, that's super duper important. So recover, then reflect, and then I think really the next thing is going to be really simple: race.
Absolutely.
Right. Find another race that you're going to get into, and go ahead and commit to it. Right. So I saw on the group thing today. I mean, I've been pretty busy, but my phone, I feel like it's been blowing up with the group thing or whatever on the Instagram.
They're hot.
And everybody's like, Deca. Everybody's like, what is this? What is this? So people are already chopping at the bit, right, to do something or commit something else. Right.
Heck, we got HYROX Strong end of the month.
We do, yeah.
That's right. Almost booked up, I think.
I think there's only 10 spots left.
Yeah,
total. So that's really cool. So we still have a month before it gets here. Yeah. So it should be a good fun event. So, but that'll be no running at all. It'll just be
no running. The running doesn't matter then.
Yeah, it's just exercise, right? Just fitness, right? So,
but a few people were asking also about the Burnett Spartan, the one in May. So I think some people want to maybe try that. I know your client is excited to try it.
She's on the fence.
Is she? She seems so gung ho in the text group. Is that just flow in the moment?
It's in the moment. Okay. So maybe tomorrow, maybe she may all the way down, but she's still, I think, on the fence.
Maybe it has more to do with the excitement of other people, and maybe other people aren't showing a lot of excitement about it.
I think so.
Yeah,
maybe.
is that what it is?
I'm not quite sure. I think, can't remember if Gabby said she wants to do it or not.
No, I don't think, because I thought Gabby wasn't into wanting to do the mud part.
I think you're right on that. Yeah.
I want to feel like that's what Gabby said. I know she wants to do the DECA.
Yeah, no, I think she's retired from the mud.
Yeah.
Last I talked to her, she was done. From,
it's hard to go back to the mud when you've been in the AC and the concrete, right?
What was it? The last the one there in Cat Springs.
Mm-hmm.
They had to crawl through the mud just to get to the start line.
Yeah.
That's silly.
I think she did that one, and that was...
She was done. She's like, I'm
done
over
after
it.
that, yeah.
I think she and I stayed together because she stayed with me, and I think it was Zach, and then it was Diana and her sister. And she stayed with us for a little while, and then her and Zach kind of left and took off and did their own thing. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. So, but yeah, she's a lot like Alex, right?
Yeah, Alex.
I don't have to get dirty. I'm not going
Yeah,
to.
you got to keep it clean.
Yeah.
If it's not dirty, you don't have to clean it.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, I got in a little trouble this morning.
Uh-oh.
I had to borrow Alex's Adidas shoes for the race. And because Snoop, my puppy, chewed mine, so we're the same size. So I borrowed his shoes, and this morning I heard Alex looking for his Adidas, and I was like, "Oh, they're in your room on whatever the shelf." And all I hear him come back is, "Mom, what is this on my shoe? A little mud spot." Comes in the room, I'm sleeping. "Dad, you got my shoes dirty."
Nice.
I was like, "Oh, okay."
Nice. That's awesome. Well, you need to take a picture of that, so that way the next time something happens with your shoe that he's wearing,
Yes.
right, you can make a comparison of the two, and you can say, so you see this little speck of dirt on your shoe, I want you to see this over here on my shoe that you did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Throw it back in his face.
He won't care. No, he's...
I love it. So, I think this next season is gonna be a lot of fun. I've heard I've seen a lot of stuff coming in from HYROX and stuff about they're doing like 25 new cities. Across the world. There's I only saw like 3 for America, but they've got tons of them that are coming out next year. For HYROX, so a bunch of new venues and new events, and I know they're going to come out with much more for the States next year as well, so that'll be really, really neat. So, but even more so than that, you got like the DECAs, and you got that Dirty Dozen thing, so there's all these new cool little competitions and events that are springing up. And I think with the HYROX Run Club, as it continues to grow, there's going to be other things for us to get involved in, like 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons and stuff. So I'm really excited to see kind of how this next race season goes, and how people improve and how they perform, and and I think it all is going to start kind of at this moment, rehashing on, or reflecting, maybe is a better word, reflecting on, the performance from this last year. So here's the question I have. All right. So are we going to say the race season's over?
For HYROX or just in general?
Just in general. Because there's nothing really coming up anytime soon, right? we got the HYROX Strong competition, but like official big time events, this is the end of the race season, because we're going to have a good 2 to 3 months of nothing, right?
Let's close the book.
Okay. So since that's the case, right, how do you feel about your 2024, 2025 race season? Do you feel like you hit your goals? What are some of those goals you hit? And, what are you hungry for now?
Okay.
That was a deep breath, bro.
I'm reflecting right now. You just threw a lot at me right there. I'm thinking about all the races I've done. Heck, how many races did we do? We did
quite a few.
Dallas, Houston, in Atlanta. Those are the 3, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's say you didn't do Vegas. That's right.
No, I didn't do Vegas. So those 3 races right there. Time-wise, improved. Obviously, not the last solo, so that was, a little disappointing. But, as far as reflection of the season, I think it's been great. The Houston HYROX was my, first time coming in as a coach.
Yeah.
Bringing athletes in. So that was, amazing experience. Just get to see athletes you've trained out there and, and do great and succeed. So that was, fun. I marked this season as success.
Yeah.
Anytime to go out there. Obviously you'd want, the goal of qualifying for world championships. I did not hit, but I gave 100% for it.
Sure.
So that's nothing. I went back and was like, oh man, I could have done this, or I shouldn't have, slacked off that month. No, I gave it my all. So, I'm holding my head up high and, proud of the effort I put in this season. And, just like you said, back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And then, to go out there and race and train this long and not be injured, it's 100% a success.
Yeah, for sure.
You are pushing yourself, overloading, increasing your mileage, or and then just to be able to go pretty much injury free. Aches and pains here and there, but I stayed injury free, and that's a plus. So and that's my last race in the 45 to 49 age group.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be old man in the next one.
That's absolutely.
You're going to be 50 years old. That's right.
50, that's right.
Oh, wow. Is that, because this is 40 is Masters. So is 50 just an extension of Masters? Is it like Ultra Masters or Super Masters?
Silver Masters.
Crotchety Masters? Like, what is it?
I'm crotchety. So it's just make sure the kids stay off my lawn. Just let you know right now.
Yeah, I love it. I told my wife, I was like, that's one of our goals I'm setting for us. She's like, huh? And I was like, for us to qualify for the World Championships as a couple once we turn 50.
There you go. And if anyone needs their numbers bumped, I can.
You do bump those numbers.
Yes,
those numbers
he can get you up. I know, man. I was like, what age group are you in when you race with Flo? And I was like, dang, bro, that must be nice.
I can pump those numbers.
He can get them up.
Yeah,
that's good. That's nice.
Bring that average up.
Yeah. So, but you got 2 PRs as well.
Yeah,
at least, right? You got at least 2 PRs.
Yeah, I got finally broke. No, that was. Last year. No, PR in Dallas, and then it was a PR, the mixed doubles of Joyce. Yeah, we got a PR there too. Yeah. So no, it's.
So 2 out of the 3 races, a PR is pretty good. Right?
100%.
One of the things I think is kind of funny, or maybe not funny, but it's funny is actually the right word, because like people get so used to going out and performing really well. When you don't get a PR, then it's a disappointment. Like it's not a failure, but like you go out with this expectation, right? Because of how we train and how successful everybody's been. It's like you get to this place where like you go in with an expectation that you're going to be faster, you're going to be improving, you're going to be faster, you're going to be improving. And so, you set a very high standard for yourself, which I think is excellent. Everyone should really do that. But also remember that the standard is high because you've worked your way up to it.
Yes.
Right. And so you've set the standard high because of your performance up to this point. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. What about you, Lauren?
Pass.
Okay. I don't know if this is like a pass or fail question. I don't know.
Next question.
Next question.
She's like, I played the 5th.
I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
Yeah. I feel like I don't want to sound like Eeyore. Like I feel like I'm just like, I'm always me. I don't feel like this was not a, I don't want to say it wasn't like a positive, because I did learn some things from the race season, but this was not my favorite race season. I was injured for 1 race. I was sick for 1 race. What happened? My first time doing pro nearly destroyed me, body and soul. So I don't know. This has been an interesting race season for me. It was a lot of learning about myself, about like what I'm doing in my life and how it's affecting my training, affecting my body. So in that respect, it's a positive thing. I wish it would have gone a little differently, but it didn't. So we learn from it and move on.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a big part of anything we do is learning from it, right? So I don't think anything's ever really all that bad if you can learn from it and use what you learned, to make whatever adaptations or changes or whatever, right? So, I recall doing training for a particular thing and like was convinced that this thing I was doing was going to make me like really good at it. And then when I went in and did whatever it was I did, I failed miserably. So what I learned was that was not the way to prepare for that thing, and so I knew, okay, I need to change it up because that wasn't right. So, whereas it could have been a bad thing or a negative thing, it really was positive because I learned something from it, right? So, but it only helps if you like make the adaptations, right? If you change it, right? So, I think that's, for me, I would say it's been weird. It's been like a lot of up and down, which once again, I'm so used to just like, for so long, it feels like it's just been progression, PR, get better, PR, whatever. And this year I felt like I've been like doing this roller coaster ride.
Yeah. One thing kind of, it should. I mean, if you have a bad race, it should motivate you.
It should.
You know, I would say one thing I've learned about myself is I've had a few bad races here and there, and I always seem to have a better
bounce
race.
back.
I bounce back.
Yeah.
So it fires me up.
Yeah.
And I'll be kind of a little bit more focused. Okay. I don't just like let it woe is be me kind of deal. I'll really like, okay, I'm motivated for this next training block or next race kind of deal. So that is.
And I mean, that's different by the person, right? I mean, that's your personality, obviously, it seems like, right? So, I mean, I think you can kind of learn that to an extent, but I think that's a gift to have, to be able to, like, if you maybe not fail, but if you've struggled or you didn't do well, to be able to take that as motivation to, like, go get some, you know, and say, that's never going to happen to me again.
And I think what you said earlier is focus on the positive.
Yeah.
There's always can be some positive,
right,
you know, in your race, you know, just whether you know, you felt sick, you know, like you did, Lauren, but you finished the race.
I did.
You know, that's a great positive there, where someone would have just been like, okay, you know, I'm feeling woes be me, I'm just not going to do it. But you were able to, you know, mentally will yourself through. So that's, you know, that's a positive there. That's, you know, to go through there. I know you said your time wasn't the best, but to be able to just go out there and grit through it with, you know, like you said, the congestion, that's horrible. Yeah. You know, whenever I'm congested, I'm a big baby.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even want to get out of bed.
Yeah, no, I complain about how people got me sick. I just have animosity. Yeah.
Animosity.
I'm thinking of,
this person here. Okay.
Who am I going to cough on? Yeah, no, for sure.
Yes. Who can I infect?
Yeah, who can I infect to get back revenge?
Revenge sickening.
Yeah, so no, I agree. I think that's the key. And you know, and that's kind of what I was, you know, kind of thinking is, like, it's been an adventure this year. I feel like it's been a roller coaster ride, a lot of highs, you know, definitely some lows. But like, I feel like the steel wheel, like Toronto sucked, right? And actually that whole, like, it's weird. I almost think sometimes, like, God will speak to us and he'll give us direction and guidance, and sometimes we don't listen and we just do what we want to do. And, like, I look at that weekend and I think to myself, I shouldn't have gone to Toronto and we shouldn't have gone to Disney, because I sucked it up in Toronto and then a hurricane came through Disney, you know, you know. So it's like one of the things, like, God, did you try to talk to me and I wasn't paying attention or something, right? So, but when we got back, like, my will was, like, definitely invigorated. Like my motivation was, like, on an all-time high, because I was like, I'm never letting that happen again. That is never going to happen. I'm never going to feel like that again. I'm never going to let something like, you know, someone who can't count, like, beat me like this again. Right. So, that really helped me, I feel like, with my training and everything else, and helped me get into and then I went out and had a great race, right? The next race. And improved, and, you know, podiumed and all that good stuff. And then, you know, that I think was a great kind of foundation. I'll be honest, I was telling Larry this actually in our race, or after our race, I was like, my confidence was shaken. You know, because I've trained so long and improved so much, and then go out, and then when you crap the bed so hard, my confidence was shook a little bit, you know. And when I came out of that, I was like, will I ever be good? I don't think I can ever be good ever again. I'm just getting old, and it's the nature of the beast, right?
Here it is.
But then I would, like, remind myself, but Carlos is so much older.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
he's so much closer to death than me.
So, like, if he can do it,
I am a young child.
It's possible.
You are a sweet boy.
I'm just a sweet boy compared to Carlos. That's right. It. So, you know, but, you know, you're talking to yourself and you talk yourself up. And so I feel like this last race, and then, you know, we got to Houston, and Houston was like, that was the A race, in my opinion. That was the one. We were all going to do amazing. We were going to have so many people. Houston's going to be the BC Fitness show. And it was, I feel like. But, like, I didn't get to race except for that little lame relay at the end of the day, right? A little bit of...
Hey, take that out of your mouth. That was the first place.
I'm sorry. I apologize. We did win. We did dominate. So I apologize. Please don't be negative, James. But, like, my plan was to race, you know, and I was, like, I was feeling very fit and very strong and very fast. And then I just... like, somehow, I don't even know. I can't even tell you how I strained my calf. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't even know.
Oh,
yeah. You know? So, you know, coming out of that, you know, so that's what I mean by, like, it's like up, down, up, down, up, down.
But then, I mean, then you just finished with a, you know, PR in the pro doubles. So you know what I mean? That's how you bounced back from that. And maybe if you would have pushed it and you strain your calf or, pull your calf and you're out for the rest of this,
Right. Wouldn't be able to race again.
And you just did back-to-back races.
Right. So, and that's the thing is like, I felt good, even on Sunday when we went back and raced again. Right. Even though, we weren't running as fast, but still we still had to do all the same weights or all the same movements and stuff. Yeah. Right. And all the same distances and stuff. So, and I had a lot of fun, honestly. Like it was a lot of fun racing out there with my wife and stuff. And I'm not going to lie and say it didn't kill me just a little bit every time somebody passed us. That hurt just a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit, and then it hurt maybe even a little more knowing that you and Flo were in front of us and we started at the same time. That hurt a little bit too, right?
I was looking to give you a good smack.
Yeah,
I never saw you on the
So if you had passed us,
I was gonna just
lift and separate.
If you had lapped us at some point, I don't even know what would have happened. I don't know. I'd have been like, let's go, Leah. Like I might have picked Leah up and thrown her over my shoulder. I was going to say, we're going to
start to test that. Can you carry your partner?
Exactly. I don't know if I could have. I don't know if I could have handled that. Okay. So, but thank the Lord. The spacing was perfect.
Yes.
We weren't that far behind that y'all were able to pass us.
Reed and Luce behind us too.
Yes.
And you said you saw them, but I never saw them.
They passed us actually. Okay. And that hurt a little bit. But when we finished and we were 2 minutes faster than them, everything was fine.
Everything was fine.
Yeah. So it was just that one. I don't know how they passed us. Maybe it was early in their race or something. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But they passed us, and I was thinking to myself. So, but we crushed all the workouts. So it was a lot. It was a ton of fun, honestly.
And one of your main goals, or one of your goals, was after that race is to still be married. Are you guys Are you still married?
Oh yeah, we're happily married.
Okay, perfect.
We're definitely happily married. So that's awesome. And we're gonna race together again. So I mean, you can't beat that.
No.
So that was good. So I would say overall it's a great race. And then obviously seeing everybody that we've connected with this year that has improved in their running, in their racing, in, their fitness, it's been really, really cool, so, I mean, there's been nothing but positives on that side.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So it's been really neat. And, even some of the people that have maybe not necessarily connected with us here in Houston that we affect or we're connected with, all over the country, all over the world. It's been really neat to, get people emailing us and telling us, hey, I've been listening to the podcast. This has helped me. Or, some random person when we're out at the park running, they hear our voice or something and they recognize us and they're like, oh my gosh, hey, thank you so much. It really helps. The people that are, that I particularly coach that are not here in the city, and seeing their improvements and see their PRs and, they're being inspired or encouraged, that's what it's all about. Right. 100%. So PRs are awesome. And improving yourself is really cool. But I think when you see that you're impacting other people, that is, that's more rewarding, I think, than anything else. So I think that's, to me, I think was made this race season so awesome is that there's been so many people that have gotten so much better and improved and really grown by leaps and bounds. So we've lost a few people, and which, that's been unfortunate. They've moved away or they're moving away, Jen. And they're dead to me.
They're not dead to me.
Well, not to her, but to me.
I'm available for online training, Jen.
Yeah, she already got you to do some stretch and restore in my face.
Peddling my wares.
Peddling your wares. Always do that, right? So, but, those people, we miss them and we're going to miss them. So, those are unfortunate things, but it's cool that we keep, new people are coming, right? Yeah. And people are improving, and it's been a cool ride this season, I feel like. So, I can't imagine what next year is going to be like. Like I can't even I'm trying to
because 100 people, 100 BC people racing.
You always got to plan for the future, right?
Nice.
I want to double the numbers of BC racers.
So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. And I would say of all the goals that we set kind of at the beginning of this race season, I would say that all but one was accomplished, honestly. And I think the only one that was accomplished is the World Championships.
Yeah.
BC is officially sitting out this season.
So, that's the only thing that we didn't hit. Other than that, we crushed them all. And I would say the only reason we didn't do that as of yet is the competition's gotten so stiff.
No, I mean, it could be a race. I mean, you and Larry go to another race somewhere else. That's first place easily.
Yeah. So,
Or,
yeah.
you know, Tommy and Jeff.
several.
They
Yeah,
got
they were
second.
off by like 10 seconds, 30 seconds, right? Larry
raced-
and I in Dallas were off by like 20 seconds, you know?
I mean, you look at the race, like a previous race, like Monterey, you look at the times.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? Their time would have smoked everyone by,
Yeah.
you know, I think I was looking at the men's 45 to 49 age group. Might have been Monterey, and Tommy would have smoked everyone by like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Like his time kind of deal. It's just sometimes, you know, just luck of the draw with each race.
Yeah.
It is because you don't know who's going to show up,
Yeah.
right? You don't know where the competition's going to be, right? Which is, you know, obviously you want to be the best you can be,
Yeah.
overall, because ultimately the goal is, if you get to the World Championships, is to do the best you can there, right? But yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to go out and perform better than you've performed before.
Yeah, and just roll the dice. Hope you
And then-
laid out you have a general time for the most part, know where you need to be around, and just kind of hope that's, like you said, you gave enough, and it's enough to get that top podium spot.
Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, we've gotten podiums, we've gotten first, seconds, you know, several of them this year. So that's been really cool. We've gotten PRs galore. So, I mean, I think even here in Atlanta, I think there were like of the 10 people that raced, or it was like 11 or 12 people actually that raced, wasn't it? So I
It
want
was
to say
11, yeah.
no, it was more because I don't think you counted Arturo and his crew.
Oh,
or whatever.
I forgot Arturo's there. You're right.
I think Joe got a PR.
Joe got a PR.
Mike.
Joyce.
Mike got a PR. Yep.
Joyce got a
Joyce
PR.
got a PR. I got a PR. Larry got 2 PRs technically.
Yeah.
Leah got a PR. Then Arturo and his brother got a PR.
got a PR.
Flo got a PR. So I mean, you know, like 75% of the people that ran out and raced got a PR. So I mean, you can't beat that. That's success. That's success, right? The only thing better would have been if everybody freaking got a podium, right? So.
My client now is going around telling everyone she ran a 7:29 pace in HYROX.
Nice.
She's not even people that asked. She
just letting them know.
She told her nail tech that.
Yeah.
Her nail
Yeah.
tech knew
So
what
how
that
you do
was.
today? Oh, I'm running a 7:29 PR.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
I like
what she's doing.
Nice,
so.
nice. So, but yeah, man, it was a great time, and it's been a great season. So I'm really looking forward to this summer. And you know, I got to get my brain working because I got to lab it up. You know what I'm saying? I got to start chopping up these workouts.
Yeah.
I got to start what's next? How can we make that next big jump?
Yeah.
You know, what are those workouts going to look like? What are those growths going to look like? You know, I've been trying to get some new certs, got a new one already. So I'm working on like studying and, you know, doing some, you know, learning some new stuff so that I can implement that into our new training cycles and stuff like that. Because we're never satisfied.
No.
Never satisfied. Fitter, better, stronger. We can rebuild them.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Bionic people all around. So, all right, guys. Anything I'm missing? Anything else?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I'd say it's been a great season. Thank you as a coach. You've
Yes, sir.
put
Thank you,
together
Coach.
a great group of people. You know, we're just trying to like follow your lead, and
I appreciate that.
It is a great group. You know, this BC Fitness. You know, it's a great community. I have a bunch of my clients that I've kind of brought over, and they just love the BC community.
It's awesome.
You know,
I love it.
they're loving it. You know, loving everything this. It is what it's about.
Yeah, I agree. So I just want to keep growing it. So if you are not a part of a community, if you're in the Houston area and you'd love to be a part of a group that builds each other up and expects more out of each other, come check us out. So we also have our HYROX Run Club where we run 3 days a week. So we do Tuesdays at Memorial Park at 7. We do Saturday morning long runs at 7 a.m. At the YMCA. And then on Sunday, we have Sunday Fun Day at the track at Klein Memorial Stadium at 5 p.m. It's free. Come be a part. If you're looking for some sort of guidance other than, the free information that I give probably too much of at our run groups, you can actually get a run plan. Just go to you can go to our website or you go to our app, mybcfit.com, and we have an actual 0 to HYROX run plan that you can sign up for $30, right? And so we're gonna, as those kind of go through it's a 3-month plan. We'll be updating those, adding new plans to kind of help take you and help you level up, so that you can really take that next step. And by the time the next HYROX comes around in the 25-26 season, you're a completely different runner, a different racer, and better and stronger.
Yep.
So you can check us out on YouTube as well. We have shoe review videos. We have tips and tricks. Just dropping a new shoe review video on the Adidas Evo SL, the one shoe you were talking about that you got dirty of your son's. Mine's black, so you don't really notice the dirtiness.
Smart choice.
So
white looks so good though.
Yeah, it does. It does look cool. So, but check that out. It'll be dropping here very, very soon. And if you have the ability to support us on Patreon at patreon.com/runningwithjames, you get some extra content. So thanks guys for coming in. And remember, as always, you can change your mind.
You can change your life.
See you guys.
Bye.